Welcome to 2Rich2Miss Unscripted. We are back in the building with the Wednesday midweek episode. We are coming to you consistently this week, and we do have a lot of wonderful information to talk about today. And as always, make sure that you do check out the podcast merch. Thank you to the people that have placed the orders already. They are running slow. I'm waiting on my own to come right now. So thank you so much to all of that. And we will obviously be talking about the markets. And as you can see, and if you're following me, when the market is red, that is a very sexy, sultry thing. You are now tuned into the Southern Urban Voice, coming to you live from the United States of Virginia, right off the East Coast, right here in Virginia. Got it right that time. And Mr. 2Rich himself coming to you via rebroadcast. And we are also going to be talking about the DeFi market. We'll be talking about CBDCs and how they are not like Bitcoin. Kind of sounds like something that your host told you about a few days ago. Then we're going to be talking about the price of Bitcoin, and going to be talking about DeFi Pulse. We're going to be talking about the newest person that has come out and said that they have Bitcoin. And if we actually have a little time, we're going to be talking about the crypto exchange that's building a Bitcoin wallet with fingerprint recognition. I mean, we got a lot going on today. Always don't forget to follow me on 2Rich2Miss on Twitter, and let's hop right into it. As always, the only real color that matters is green. Let's get it. Welcome to 2Rich2Miss Unscripted with your host, the Southern Urban Voice, Mr. 2Rich. And this show is about providing you with cryptocurrency and digital asset news, education, and tips that you can use as you take this wild and exciting journey into crypto. And as always, remember, the only real color that matters is green. Let's get it. Black business shout-outs from the 2Rich2Miss Unscripted YouTube show. All right, let's hop right into the show. On today's Black Business Shoutout, we are going to be talking about EastCoastHoney.com, the finest of high-quality, old-world Italian beekeeping traditions. Let me tell you something. It could be just me because obviously I like sweets. This honey is really great, really amazing. If you're into the healthy stuff and you're doing an elderberry tea, as opposed to using sugar, don't use sugar. You actually get some of this honey and you put that honey in there with the elderberry tea. It's phenomenal. Or your black tea or your green tea, whatever you may use. Or if you're oh my God, it's great. If you're cooking and into doing all type of stuff and it needs honey, it's locally made, black owned, great, wonderful guy. Ran into his store at the gun show out in Virginia Beach, and a really wonderful, cool individual, great guy. Definitely go check it out. Black Business Shoutouts is a segment that I'm going to be doing. When you run into these people and you go to their website, make sure you let them know that you heard them on 2Rich2Miss Unscripted and the Southern Urban Voice. And these are places that when I shout these people out, these are people that I've actually done business with or that my wife has done business with. And these are companies that this isn't a sponsored section right now. And even when it does get to be a sponsor section, these are going to be companies that I actually have done business with. So let's keep it moving right now. Make sure you check them out. www.eastcoasthoney.com. Black business shout-outs from the 2Rich2Miss Unscripted YouTube show. Welcome back to the show, everybody. Let's dig right in and hop right into the markets. You know how I do it. Red days are days that means the market is on sale and there are discounts out there to be scooped up. And if you DCA, just like we always talk about here, DCA definitely is a safe way. It's a lot of wonderful things that you can get out here and scoop up in the red, and a lot of good, wonderful deals that you can take advantage of. Now, obviously, if you're really doing some of the other things that I do, and you're taking advantage of some of these altcoin gems, it's a lot of that kind of floating around as well. Maybe I'll start to talk about a little bit more of those. But yeah, it's because I do kind of talk a lot about Bitcoin with everything that they have going on with Ethereum, and I reference those because those are for my older crowd that doesn't know too much about the space just yet. That's a real safe bet, and looking at the DeFi market, what can I say? We're trending in the upward direction. DeFi is one of my favorite spaces in the crypto, as far as in the cryptocurrency space. I mean, being a former, spending about 10 years working in the mortgage industry, back before the bust, I can really see a whole lot of potential and a whole lot of wonderful things that DeFi can be and what it will be once it kind of grows up and matures. So it's always good to see the total value lock going up in the right direction, looking at about 11.32 billion. If you've been watching the channel, going back to some of the earlier videos, we can remember when it went down and did this little dip. When it did this little dip, I mean, hey, everything hasn't been peaches and cream out here in this little world of DeFi. It's a very, very it's a very new space. It's very immature, and just got to give it a little time to get his legs to grow. In the meantime and in between time, is there money to be made out there? Absolutely. But do make sure that you are exercising risk management accordingly. And the simplest thing that I personally like to practice when I'm going around out here and doing things that are a little bit more riskier out here in this space is as soon as I get my initial investment back, I move that back out into something a little bit more safe, and then kind of keep another little portion to kind of let it ride out, and then adjust accordingly as things happen. But that's just me, just what I do for myself. Not giving it financial advice, just saying what I do. Risk management, very important. All right, let's press on here. Central bank digital currencies are not like Bitcoin or cryptocurrency. You don't say. All of these articles will be over on my Twitter feed if you want to go through and catch the full read on any of these. This is one of those articles that, I mean, if you really want to go through and read the whole article, this article is one of those ones where it's just like, look, man, I was talking to you guys about this a few days ago. I think it must have been Monday, might have been yesterday. But I was just talking to you guys about this, and I was just telling you that the central bank digital currencies is going to offer more. It's not going to be all good and great and wonderful. I encourage you to go through and read this whole article. It's really, really intriguing. So, I mean, and obviously there's only that. Now, obviously, I'm not saying that, that everybody's going to have to totally avoid them. Is buyer beware and be aware. Now, if you're aware of what their purpose is and what the capabilities of them are, then you can use risk management and use them accordingly and still be fully educated in Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, and adjust accordingly and still do everything that you need to do. So that's a really interesting article, not to kind of beat a dead horse. I mean, because I said I literally just was talking about the same thing when it was the CBDCs that they're talking about over in the EU. So over to my European listeners out there that catch me on the podcast on 2Rich2Miss podcast. We got a wonderful episode that we're going to be recording today. So that's going to be really amazing. Now, pressing on. Now, Bitcoin eyes $12,000. Now, being an investor and coming from the investor standpoint, this is all, and coming from the long-term perspective, when it comes to Bitcoin, I believe in what Bitcoin is going to do long-term. Articles like this just kind of help it along, and being a DCA type of person, primarily when it comes to Bitcoin and when it comes to anything that I do in the altcoin space, ends up I put that back into Bitcoin or Ethereum, or one of the other long-term plays that I have going on. So it's really these type of articles are really wonderful, and I think it's really just interesting. They say it will surge regardless of U.S. 2020 presidential election outcome. That's a fact. Bitcoin, now, how much it will surge, who knows? But one thing is for sure, the monetary policy is not going to just be changed overnight. And the way that the system is the current financial state of the current fiat situation is going on right now. It's going to there's going to be a rebalance. And my personal thought is, irregardless of who comes into the office, as far as whoever's elected, we are going to have inflation that people are not going to be ready for. And once that inflation really starts to kick, it's going to hit it's going to obviously hit those of us that are, those of us that are black, and those of us that are, and honestly, those of us that haven't really fully taken full advantage of any and all financial opportunities, and haven't done what is necessary to be well financially. So one of the reasons why I talk about Bitcoin, and I like to get out here and try to educate the older crowd, my 40 and up crowd, or as the analytics comes up to show, my 45 and up crowd, that kind of like, oh well, yeah. I mean, I know a whole lot of guys that are heavy in the stock market. I mean, the stock market party is running good right now, but you gotta have some type of hedge to make sure that you can withstand the dip. Now, this is something really, really interesting right here. Kind of pressing on, moving on to the next article. DeFi Pulse launches economic safety grade to rank risk. This is a wonderful thing. Now, because we definitely need any and all things, to help all of us as we are getting into this market with our education. One of the things that you have to do as a cryptocurrency investor, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, continually all around, is DYOR, do your own research. And this is a tool that can definitely help to kind of wind down some of your research as you're going along. And it definitely, and of course, I'm going to obviously say, one of my holdings that I have that I like, Aave and Compound. I don't own Compound, but Aave and Compound were ranked safe with over 90% scores. Tools like this, at DeFi Pulse, and I look at DeFi Pulse often. I mean, we often look at the top of DeFi Pulse up here, but DeFi Pulse is actually has, it's a really cool site, and it can really kind of sort through and help you kind of get some more information on the different segments that are available within the decentralized finance space right now. So I definitely think this is a wonderful, wonderful thing that DeFi Pulse has going on. It's any extra tool that we can use to be able to do better research is always going to help us out a lot more and help provide that extra layer of safety. And well, not safety, but that extra layer of it gives us a little something extra to work with in our search and as we're looking at projects. Let's press on. Now, this is an article that people have already talked about. And this, once again, it just kind of goes through to beat the same drum that I've already kind of been beating and telling everybody that, and just saying even on this channel that there are lots of companies that are already buying up Bitcoin. The regular retail investor just isn't paying attention. I mean, and these are just the ones that are just mentioning it. So, I mean, we don't have to necessarily go there. All I'm saying is that, I mean, hey, the article speaks for itself, and then the potential of what is to come, or what's already in there. I mean, one of these days, one day, not too long from now, these exchanges are going to start running short on Bitcoin. There's only a limited supply. When there's a supply shock, that's when the price is really going to start to shoot up, when there's a supply shock. So we shall see. Like I said, we're in the fourth quarter now, and I've already said what my quarterly predictions were in my other video. But we're gonna see how it all pans out. Let's move on to our final article. I have to do more research into this, but I really stumbled across this, and I haven't had a chance to fully just look through as much digging as I would like. But I like the premise, and I definitely on the surface, without surface level research on this one, I definitely like the direction that they're going in with that. A wallet with fingerprint recognition is definitely going in the right direction. I mean, and as always, just like I always tell you guys, I understand that this market is new, and as these things are coming along, and as they're making these things, there's a lot of this stuff that's going to have to evolve with time, and updates are going to have to be made, and bugs are going to be discovered and squashed, and such and so. But overall, I mean, we are, as a market, this is a wonderful time to be in the market and to be DCAing your way, because we really don't know when the market is when people are going to really discover what's been happening, especially with all of these companies coming out saying that they've already bought Bitcoin. So, I mean, because that's the thing about that other article with the 115 million. They just said this information on their own. They didn't have to put that information out. But, there's a lot of companies that are buying it up, and one day the public is going to realize that there's a supply shock, and the Bitcoin is going to really be coming up. I think there's going to be a shortage because these big whales have been really out there buying it up before it even hits the spot. But anyway, we shall see, and I'll talk about that a little bit with my guest that have on tap for the night. So that is it for this episode. You have been tuned in to the 2Rich2Miss Unscripted YouTube show. And you can get a little mesmerized looking at all the wonderful things you can buy on this red wonderful day, this red market. And still going in the right direction, but hey, red days are good days to DCA. And as always, the Southern Urban Voice, reminding you, the only real color that matters is green. Peace.